My father died a number of years ago, and my mother, after living alone for years, we decided that she shouldn't be alone any longer, and so she decided to come and live with me, which I was absolutely delighted by. And we had about 12 great years here together in Boston, because Mother was always had been with my father, an avid theater goer and concert goer, and so we went regularly to the Boston Symphony and to theater here in Boston, and she'd show up at lectures here and at other universities because she just was interested in all sorts of things. And finally, Mother began to show the unmistakable signs of dementia, probably Alzheimer's caused. And eventually came to the point where we couldn't leave her alone for a moment. She'd wander off. And so she went into a nursing home, and for the next 7 years, I went every night to that nursing home and fed her, because they found it hard to get her to eat unless it was me feeding her, and then held her hand and just talked about anything that popped into my head until Mother dozed off for the evening, and then I would head out. And about a year before she died, she passed away a year ago last January, Mother said, she was having a particularly bad evening. She seemed really very distracted. She didn't know, wasn't recognizing anybody. And I said to her, "Now, dear, do you know who I am? Do you remember who I am, love?" And she really scrutinized me. And then she said, "I'm sorry, I don't know that I could remember your name, but I do know that you're someone I loved very much." Well, I've always said to Ken that Mother was the best theologian in the family, that the two of us were just amateurs compared to her, because she got it exactly right. You may forget everything else. Everything else in your life may disappear. You may forget even who loved you and how they loved you. But you never totally forget having loved someone else. You may forget being loved, but you never forget loving. Because it is the most central, the most important, the most fundamental of all activities. Not being loved, but loving. And that's what family gives us an intimate chance to do. To, in circumstances that may be very supportive or very painful, that we have the opportunity to learn how to give ourselves to one another, wisely and courageously, and with tremendous forgiveness and deep acceptance. If you learn that, you've learned everything that you need to know. If you learn everything else and you never find that out, you've missed what it is to be a human being. Because human beings are called to be the people who do what God is. God is agape, and we get to enact it. That is the most extraordinary statement about being a human being that I know.